Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. You are looking at a Valentine tank. It's the British Tier 4 light tank. It's not a premium, that's the Soviet one. This one is under the command of Ohforfoxache. It's on the north spawn of Province. But I'm afraid this is another troll incident. Yep, there are 3 trolls in this game, and you're looking at them behind us. A Matilda, a Kehoe, and there's another one as well. I think the other one's in a Matilda as well. Well, first thing they do is they manage to throw that M10 off the cliff. And then I think they go after the Strv 74. And finally they go after Ohforfoxache. Well, Ohforfoxache, oh, there's one of the trolls. Sorry, it's the T28. He's one of them as well. Okay, so he started off firing at the enemy on the other side of the battlefield. And we're following him in third person at the moment because we want to see exactly what's going on. And here comes the T28. Now he's decided to drive away. Now they've already managed to cause problems for that M10 whilst Ohforfoxache's getting shots on the enemy. They're queuing up behind the M10 RBFM to push him over the edge, and you can see Philip ticking in affirmative, and you can see he's being pushed. And there he goes, he's fallen over the edge and died. Now that's entirely down to the effects of those 3. And you can see that Ohforfoxache's continuing to fire on the enemy. One of his teammates has died after being thrown off a cliff, and now they're doing it the same to the Strv, and they're throwing him off the cliff. So here's 3 players who should not be in the game at all. They are filip377 in the Kehoe, Koza Bob Koff in the T28, and the other one is in a Matilda, and that's Alex664. And the Strv, well, he's managed to get away from them for the moment, I think. They tried to push him over the edge of the cliff and failed. And now they're turning their attention to Ohforfoxache. So I'm going to pull away in third person so you can see Ohforfoxache still firing on the enemy. But here comes the trio of trolls. Kehoe, Matilda, and the T28. Now look what they try to do next. Well, the Matilda gets behind, then the Kehoe, and then the T28. And they can't throw him over the cliff because the physics of this area won't allow you to jump over that cliff. So all they're doing is pushing him up so that the enemy can shoot at him. Now that is completely against the law. And now they flipped him up against the invisible wall that's there. And they're pushing him to try and disable him. And they're leaving him in this upright position, but he will fall down, that's it. But now they've got him upright again. So this behaviour by these 3 should give it a total ban from the game altogether. I think these people have done it before. I seem to have remember seeing their names before, and they are acting together as a group. And this sort of behaviour at this tier actually discourages players from playing the game. Well, Ohforfoxache's moved away from the firing position to avoid them doing more damage to him. He's managed to escape. One of them did fire into him, but thanks to there being no team damage, he's not being killed. But if he'd been left in an upright position on that position, he would have been killed by the enemy firing across the valley. Now they haven't moved away yet, they're still in the vicinity, and they're now going off to see who else they can bother. And Ohforfoxache gets back to playing the game. Obviously he knew that he could send in a replay to me, and I would then publicise the fact that these people are doing what they're doing and ruining the game for other people, that they've team killed someone, and they've tried to team kill 2 others in this game and failed to do so. And here's the death of the other players from a different angle. You're looking at the little Valentine there of Ohforfoxache, and he's moved over to that corner, but he decides not to stay here. And there's the M10 RBFM who was killed. And I think you can see that he actually has 2 marks of excellence on his barrel. So he's actually quite a decent player in the M10 RBFM. Well, the trolls are elsewhere at the moment, but any second now they're going to arrive. Alex664 is one of them. The other one is filip377 in the Keyho. And the third one is in the T28, Koza Bob Koff. And here they come. And what they're going to do is they're going to get behind Flooco, who's the M10 RBFM, and they're going to push him over the cliff. Here comes the trio of trolls. And they're just trying to sort themselves out, get into an order. The T28 goes up behind the RBFM because on his own he can't push him over, but with the Matilda they push him over the edge and he crashes down to die. Now, not content with killing one of the team members, they now try to do it to the Strv 74. And well, he's up there and they've got behind him and they're now trying to push him out over the edge as well. Except they haven't got the support of the Matilda this time, and so they push him round, but he actually manages to drive in front of the house. But the Matilda tries to stop him coming around the other way, and he tries to push him off. He goes into the Keyho round the back, but the Keyho's got no power, and so he can't stop the Strv 74 from pushing the Keyho out of the way and preventing himself from dying. And basically they give up at that point trying to attack the Strv because they know they can't get round him, and that is what saves this team from losing the match. They've now gone off to attack Ohforfoxache, whilst Jarek92PL in the Strv 74 carries on fighting. Well, they've left him alone for the moment. The T28's heading south, whilst the Keyho and the Matilda are still sticking around, and I wouldn't be surprised if they come back and try it again on Ohforfoxache. Yes, well, the Keyho's come back, and I presume he's in TeamSpeak with the Matilda and the T28. And Ohforfoxache realises by looking at his minimap that they're doing it. He pulls away before they can get a chance to push him over the edge again. But you can see that that Keyho keeps looking at Ohforfoxache. Keeps looking at him. Ohforfoxache keeps looking back, and here comes the Matilda. So they're going to have another shot at trying to ruin Ohforfoxache's game. The Matilda gets behind him, pushes him, and then the Keyho tries to come behind him and he's trying to do it with a big enough run up to push Ohforfoxache up, and it's not working. And despite the fact that the Matilda's still trying to drive forward, Ohforfoxache's continuing to play the game by shooting at the enemy. So come on, Wargaming, you've got to ban these players. Alex664, filip377 and Koza Bob Koff in the T28, who's come back to try and help them push Ohforfoxache and ruin his game. So this is a deliberate attempt to try and flip Ohforfoxache up. They must be in communication, and that's how they're doing what they're doing. Well, the T28's been killed, and they're losing to the enemy, and Ohforfoxache has been killed by 2 of the enemy, so that counts as being pushed out in front of the enemy by these 2 players. So that was a team kill, because he was in no position to actually pull back and get into cover, because he was being held there so that the enemy would shoot him. Their team are losing now thanks to these 2 idiots and the other one that's died. These people need to be banned. Wargaming, you must ban these people. If you don't ban them, you're going to be losing players. And the only other player that's left in the game is the Strv 74, who's one of their potential victims. And he's not going to go anywhere near them, because he's already fed up with them anyway. And it looks like the enemy are going to win this game, either by capping out or killing all the remaining team members. Yeah, the enemy are capping. So if we turn around, can we see them? Don't think so. Well, both the trolls and the one of their victims, the Strv-74, are moving down to reset the cap. Of course, that means they will probably get fired on by the enemy once they're spotted. And the IKV kills the Matilda. So one of the trolls has died. Here's the next troll to die, the Kehoe. And actually the IKV was killed by the Strv before the Kehoe could arrive. And the Kehoe doesn't seem to understand that sitting in the cap, our cap, does not allow him to win the game. He has to go down to the other end and cap at that end in order to win. Or either that, or he's decided to go into the cap and stop the enemy from capping by shooting them as soon as they arrive. The last of 3 remaining enemies are a Panzer III-4, a Matilda and a T-28. And the Matilda has 2 kills already, so he already knows how to play the game. And more than likely he will have no difficulty in taking out a Kehoe. I'll speed up the replay a bit, I think, so that because otherwise it will get rather boring. Speed it up to 8C. Oh, the enemy's arrived, and I've returned it to normal speed. The Strv is fending off an attack from the T-28, who's got 100% health. Nice shot there. 75mm gun on the Strv. T-28 doesn't have such a powerful gun. Now, this could be a bit of a mistake by the Strv. He's actually coming out and around to try and shoot around the rock. It puts him in the open, you see. If he's in the open and the T-28 pops around the corner quickly, he puts 1 round into him. And, oh, he's approaching the T-28. Oh, he did take him out, so that's good. But there's still 2 enemies out there and he was spotted. Now, the Panzer III-4 has been spotted near the cap. And also the Matilda's been seen as well. But it looks like the Kehoe's suffering serious damage from that Matilda. And yes, he's been killed. So all of the trolls are dead. And well, the Panzer III-4 is being hit, but he is actually telling the Matilda where the Strv is. So the Matilda should be able to see the Strv and take aim at him. And there goes the Panzer III-4. So now it's 1-on-1. So if they had chucked this guy off the cliff, I don't think they would have reached this point. I think the enemy would have won the game. There's the wreck of the person who was killed, the M10 RBFM. And we can't see where the Matilda is right now, but he could be at one of those gaps, waiting to see the Strv through the gaps to put rounds into him. It would take at least 4 rounds to take out the Strv if the Matilda's got the 2-pounder gun, but every shell that hits the 74 is going to go through because it has such weak armor. It's a good gun, terrible armor. When he's trying to proxy spot there, so he's not at the bushes. That's where the Matilda should have been, waiting for the Strv to poke out, but instead he's decided to pull back. That's the 2-minute warning. And here's the Matilda, and the reason is he's a one-shot, that's why. And so the Strv wins the game. So one of the potential victims wins the game despite being trolled. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats for this one. Well, it's a second class tank for Ohforfoxache because he did more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle on the enemy. If we look at the team score, we can see that, yes, in fact, in actual damage, it was the Strv 74 got the most damage, 1,957 hit points, and that was one of the players who would have been killed by the troll platoon. Ohforfoxache managed 350 hit points of damage. High score on the enemy team was then Matilda with 1,085. Now, if we look at the troll platoon, we can see here they are: Alex644, filip377, and Koza Bobkov in the T28. Well, Matilda was the one who actually is registered with the team kill on the M10 RBFM. He did 213 hit points of damage, far less than Ohforfoxache. The Kehoe only managed 18 hit points of damage, no kills, and the T28 didn't do any damage on the enemy whatsoever, and certainly no kills. And so they were a complete waste of being in the team. They were totally useless. And to be honest, this player certainly does deserve a lengthy ban for team killing that M10 RBFM. So, well, Wargaming, it's up to you, but I would say that these three players, Alex664, filip377, and Koza Bobkov, should receive notification that they've been banned for a week. Preferably banned forever, but obviously that's up to you. I would certainly like these players never to be in any battles in the future, because they're more than likely going to cause other people to suffer pain as a result of their idiotic behaviour. They're probably a bunch of kids, but they shouldn't be in the game at all. If they're going to be causing trouble, they should be causing trouble in some other game, but not World of Tanks. And I think Wargaming does need to warn them that if they break the rules, they will be banned. Thanks for watching.